Okay, so I thought today would be a good time to talk about my bushcraft tools. So let's crack on with that. Okay, got them organised in axe, fixed blades, folders and wood carving. And then on the floor, I'll show you afterwards, the tools for just splitting wood at home. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, let's start with the fun stuff. So there's a halter fours. I think this is the classic hunter's axe because it's got that rounded bit at the back, but it's basically like a ground force Brooks small forest axe. And it kind of like bridges the gap between like a standard hatchet and a sort of felling axe. So yeah, good all-round axe, quite heavy to take in your backpack, not too bad, but I wouldn't mind getting a smaller hatchet, something that weighs about 600 grams or something, or even lighter. But yeah, I really like this axe. Carved spoons and stuff with it out of blanks, so it's been pretty versatile, and you can use it two-handed. Cost me about 80 quid, so I think it was a reasonably good deal. It's got a axe mask. The leather strap broke fairly early on, so I've just got some paracord, but the rest of it is going alright, so no problems there. Like I say, I wouldn't mind getting a lightweight hatchet down the road. Okay, next up we've got probably my favourite one. It's a Castrom number 10 in a flat grind in stainless. Really like this knife, full tang and all that business. My Carter handle. Yeah, really good for feather sticking and food prep because of the flat grind. It just slices through, no problem. Not quite as burly as the Scandi grind version. You can see it tapers pretty thin to the end, so I like to be a bit careful with them battening, but I don't generally batten massive stuff, especially if I've got an axe along as well, so just to get it up really fine if it's wet for a split wood fire. Comes with a fairly decent sheath, and yeah, so far no problems, nor do I envisage any. Next up, I've got me wood dual pucko knife. I really like this knife. It's the first knife I got after getting back into sort of more the bushcrafty side of the outdoors, so I had this for about 3 years. Carbon steel, Scandi grind. I think it was about 30 quid, so think of it as like a more rustic version of a Mora, really. Yeah, curly birch handle. Still really like this knife. It's a bit lighter than the Castrom, and easy to sharpen. Reasonably thick, reasonably sturdy. Comes with the old reindeer leather sheath, and I usually carry it in a kind of neck carry style with the lighter knives, especially around camp, so I can get to it without sitting on it. Right, next up, got a Mora companion. Just get that in focus a bit more. in stainless. This is, I don't think it's the heavy duty one, and it's not the standard one, it's kind of in between, but yeah, I really like this knife. For 15 quid, or oftentimes a lot cheaper, you can't go too far wrong. Came pretty sharp, I've used it loads. Bonus of this is it's light, so you're more likely to take it. Stainless, it doesn't rust, so you don't have to worry about that. And it works. I use it. This is probably one I take out most often, especially for day trips. So yeah, got to get a Mora. Obviously, it comes with the old plastic sheath there. I've got a leather sheath for it as well, but only because there's nothing wrong with the plastic ones, just I'm a bit of a tart like that. Okay, and this is another Mora companion, thinner blade, carbon steel this one. Originally I thought it was going to be the same thickness as the other one, but it's actually thinner, but I actually like that, to be honest. It's quite a good little carver. And again, I think it was about 8 quid, so you can't go too far wrong with that. You know, you can handle some light battening duties, and again, if you've got an axe or a hatchet and this, you're not doing too bad. Right, on the folders now. Little Opinel number 6, I think. Yeah, let's see. Should say on it somewhere. I think it's number 6. Anyway, it's one of the smallest ones. I think it's only about 8 quid. This is what I most often take nowadays, backpacking, because it weighs hardly anything and does the job. You know, backpacking, you're not going to need to do too much heavy work. The other option I'd take is the old Swiss Army knife. I've had this years now. The logos are rubbed off. Bonus of this one is it's got scissors and tin opener and bottle opener, so that comes in pretty handy, but it is about 3 times the weight of the Opinel. Yeah, scissors are pretty good for trimming your toenails and whatnot, so, but it's not normally a problem on trips of a week or so. Okay, and this is my work knife, really. This gets abused a lot. It's a locking blade. Mate gave it to me actually, and it's really good, but I wish it didn't have the serrated bit because it makes it harder to sharpen. But yeah, it's not too heavy, it's really robust, and I can abuse it. Next up is another locker that someone gave me, and it's generally fine. I don't know who makes it, it's got no marker, but it is now got a wobble where I used it to do some light battening duties, so if you don't do that then you'll probably be fine, but I expect I can just tighten up the bolts and it'll be alright again. But yeah, not too bad if you're not abusing it too much. Then got a heavy duty locker, and I rarely use this because it weighs probably more than the Mora. It's a really good knife, really good quality, but just really heavy. And then got the old Leatherman. It's a Leatherman Wingman, and basically got that for a ski tour that I didn't go on. I still plan to go on, but comes in quite handy for repair and ski bindings. I do take it mountain biking on long days out because the old pliers and whatnot are pretty handy, but don't tend to, it's a bit heavy for backpacking, to be honest. Yeah, it's a bit overkill, so don't tend to take it for that. Okay, onto woodworking tools. There's a fairly ubiquitous Mora spoon knife, double edged. I've only used it a couple of times so far, but yeah, I was basically trying to get away without using the spoon knife, but it does make life easier if you're doing that sort of thing. One of my new favourites looks like a Mora, but it's actually a castrum little carver, so I've been making some little weird figureheads with that. It comes with a pretty decent leather sheath. Give me the old net carry. And for sharpening, I've got the DC3. Probably should have got the DC4. Was it foul Niven DC3? But it still works, and it's nice and light, so it's got that going for it. Diamond sort of side and smooth side. So yeah, I could do with getting the or making a leather strop. I think you can get away with that most of the time. One little trick you can do, instead of a strop, is run your knife through the top of the wood there, and that effectively works like a strop. Not as good, does make a bit of difference, but I think a strop would be better. But yeah, if you're out in the woods and you've forgotten your strop or don't have one, then that's the ticket. Okay, and these are the tools I use for chopping and splitting wood at home. So starting from the top, got a felling axe. I think it's from Aldi or Lidl, and it actually works pretty well. And below it, same brand, is a splitting maul, and that's a bit of a game changer actually. I always used to use a big axe, and it's basically like a sledgehammer with a slightly sharp point on it, and so I rarely use the felling axe anymore for log splitting. And then got a fairly cheap hatchet which I reprofiled the head on, and it was a massive pain in the arse. Steel was pretty soft. It's a bit rubbish, but it's alright for splitting wood just for the fire at home. Okay, that's that. Okay, forgot to talk about saws. Got the again, your pretty common Laplander. Use this loads, use it at work as well. Take it mountain biking, clear trees off the trail. Wouldn't mind getting something slightly bigger, especially for taking to clear the trails. It's a bit hard work once it gets, especially once you get sort of past a tree that size. It's doable. Yeah, so maybe I'll get a silky down the line, but yeah, you can't go too far wrong with that. Cheaper ones are alright as well, like a Wilkinson sword, but this will generally last longer, and it's light as well. Okay. One other thing I'll quickly touch on is you've heard of the 3 tool rule, but it's rare. Well, I've never taken all 3, saw and a knife and an axe. Usually it's saw and a knife, or knife and an axe. It's, weight's an issue. I usually hike a bit to my location, so yeah, obviously if I was camping out in the boreal forest in the dead of winter, I'd take a bigger axe and a bigger saw, but I'm not. So most of the time that's perfectly fine. Okay, so I thought I'd just touch on that. Catch you later. Okay, so I hope that was not too boring and of some use to someone. Of the 10 people that are watching, you're the best, and hopefully we'll have some more outings down the line. Oh well, we definitely will. So, thanks for watching, and catch you later.